Hi everyone, my name is Love and welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'll be just sharing some tips on how to improve your English language skills. So if you are planning to move here in Canada or in any English speaking countries like in the US and here in Canada and other countries where English is the first language. Like for example, here in Canada, there are two languages that are being used here. First is the English and second is French. So coming from a country where English is just a second language, so I came from the Philippines and my first language is Tagalog. It is a challenge for me to move in an English-speaking country like Canada because I am not that too confident with my English speaking skills because it was not being used in a regular basis when I was back living in the Philippines, because like at school we do have English language, but I mean, even though I know the proper grammar, it's hard for me to be confidently speaking in this language. So for the past 6 years, I've already took the Ielts exam 3 times and Celban for 1 time. The first time I took the Ielts was when I was starting to apply here in Canada for permanent residency, and I took the Ielts general training. So if you're applying to become a permanent resident, they require you the general training of Ielts. And then the second time that I took the Ielts general training was when I was in Abu Dhabi, because my first Ielts was expired, because Ielts is only valid for 2 years, so I have to renew my exam to process my application. And then the third time that I took the Ielts, and it was the academic, was when I was applying for nursing licensure here to upgrade my license here in Canada. So they require an academic, but the reading part, I did not get the required score. And that is why I took the other kind of English test, which is Celban, instead of taking the Ielts academic, which I find that Celban is much easier as compared to Ielts academic, because Celban is really catered for nurses because the topics are not as broad as in Ielts academic. So yeah, that is the history of my English test. But now I'm gonna give you some of the things that I did to improve my English language skills. So for the tip number 1, and I think this is the very helpful and the very best tip that I can give, is that to communicate every single day to people who are native English speaker. I don't know why, but if I am talking to someone who is, I know that speaking in my own language, like in Tagalog, like if I don't know what to say, if I run out of words, I know that I can express what I want to say to that person in my own language. So I think it is best to really speak to people whose native language is English, so that you don't have any choice but to say what you want to say in English. Like for example, in your workplace, talk to people, like to Canadians, to people whose language is different from you, so that you don't have any choice but to express yourself in English. And like what I also did was I went on dating apps to talk to people in English. For the tip number 2, especially on the listening part of the exams, try to listen to English podcasts or in YouTube when you're in a commute. Try to listen to podcasts instead of listening to music. Like every day, like every morning when I'm preparing to work, I open my YouTube and I listen to any topic but in English. so that I can practice my listening skill. I can practice my mind to understand different accents. If every day you are listening to people who is speaking in the language you want to learn, it's gonna help you to learn faster and improve faster. So number 3, with regards to the writing section, I practice my writing by writing journals in English. So for example, I am a type of person who wants to brain dump. Instead of writing everything in my own language, I try to write it in English so that I can practice myself to like spontaneously write my thoughts, my ideas in English. And another tip with regards to the writing is that I read blogs of my interest in the internet, and then just try to read and then like learn how they construct their sentences. Number 4 tip is to watch movies, to watch series on Netflix, and to watch videos on YouTube that are in English. So when you're watching, you're also being productive because you are learning English too. So when I remember when a month or weeks before my English test, I try not to watch anything or listen to anything in my language. Instead, I only watch or read or listen to English. And so for the 5th tip is to read books. I know not everyone loves to read, but it will practice you to read an article or a paragraph faster, so that during the exam, because the time is very limited, you have to read the article fast. You cannot take time to read and understand what is being said in that article. So at least spend like 5 to 10 minutes to grab a book and read, and then try to understand what you are reading. You don't need to read every single word. And then if you encounter words that you are not familiar of, what I do is I have a notebook, a separate notebook that I write every word that is not familiar to me. But before looking for the meaning of that word, I try to guess the meaning of that in the sentence, and then after that I get my dictionary and then try to find the meaning of the word. And then what I also did before was, if I encountered a word that I am not familiar, I try to use it in different sentences, and it's gonna be my word of the day. And then like I'm gonna make a sentence, even if it is just in my head, or if I am talking to a friend, I will try my best to use that word. It's a different feeling when you can use words that are not being commonly used. So that is all for the tips that I can give. Learning English is a long-term commitment, especially when you are planning to live in a country like Canada. That is all for this video, and good luck on your IELTS general training, IELTS academic, or Celban exam, and I hope that you pass those tests. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.